call me a service user, I'm a mental health patient. I'm not, on the whole, the type of person who grumbles about political correctness gone mad. In my opinion, it's an expression that is often used to justify casual racism, sexism, or homophobia, and that's never okay. But I really hate the way mental health services insist on referring to patients like me as service users, or, worse still, clients. I know these terms are supposed to be empowering. The theory is that the word patient implies that we're A, unwell, and B, passive, while referring to us as clients or service users suggests that we're in the driving seat as far as our treatment is concerned. But anyone who's been through the mental health system knows that simply isn't the case. When you're under mental health services care, opportunities to have a say in your treatment are few and far between. Sure, we may be asked our opinions as a box-ticking exercise, but realistically, the services we receive are dictated by budgets and resources. I'm a client when I go to the hairdressers or book an oven cleaning. I'm a service user when I go to the library or pay my council tax. But when I'm seeing my psychiatrist for a medication review or checking in with my care coordinator, I'm a patient. Let's face it, mental health treatment is pretty shoddy in the UK. Psychiatric hospitals have seen their budgets shrink by £150 million in the past 4 years, and patients are having to travel hundreds of miles from home due to bed shortages. If I was involved in any other service that was underperforming so spectacularly, I'd be kicking up a fuss and demanding my money back. So to call me a service user or client is a complete misnomer, which implies that I have options and valued opinions, whereas the reality is I've no choice but to accept whatever scant provision they deem suitable. Ironically, I feel that calling mental health patients clients or service users actually contributes to the stigma around mental illness rather than reducing it. It all seems a bit hush-hush, as if being a mental health patient is so taboo that we have to disguise it as something less threatening. The implication is that patient equals bad, but service user equals good. Would we apply the same principles to physical health problems? Would we refer to people as diabetes clients or cancer service users? I think not. Which leads me on to my final point, and that's the fact that mental illness is an illness. An illness that should be treated with the same respect and seriousness as physical conditions. I want to be referred to as a mental health patient because the term recognizes that I'm unwell. It communicates clearly that a part of my body is sick and in need of treatment. 5 things I can't stop doing even though they make my anxiety worse. I spent a day documenting what it's really like to live with OCD Self-Care Week. Why it's so important for people living with IBD. When you call me a service user, it invalidates my experience as a person with a serious, potentially life-threatening illness. I realize different people have different viewpoints, and no doubt some feel that being a service user or client is more palatable than being a patient. But statistics suggest I'm not alone. 77% of mental health patients prefer to be referred to as such. So do me a favor and ditch the euphemisms, please. I'm not ashamed to be a mental health patient, and no one else needs to brush it under the carpet on my behalf. More self-care. It's not all bubble baths and scented candles. More how to help a friend who's withdrawing from social contact